Beauty's Queen, and I'm back with a vlog, expressing myself passionately through this arena. You have to roll your R's. Arena. I tell all the Mexican people,
in a quarter mile,
you say my name, roll it. Okay, you roll your R. If you roll your R's every other time, you better roll your R's when you're talking to me. So anyway, this is terrible.
Turn left onto the I-88 East ramp.
I was just thinking about, currently we are out of or in
a quarter mile,
quarantine state or mine or whatever it is. We have become a people that's separated from one another, and a lot of things has been going on, good and bad, which, I mean, that's life, good and bad. You take the good with the bad, and everything is fine and dandy. So what I want to talk about today is just about consider your thought process. I have found that people they have this mindset, and I just think about it. I don't know if you have been watching my vlogs since I've been vlogging, so many years ago. I'm a writer, so in me being able to write, I've been blessed with the ability to see multiple sides and angles. So, people say, well, left or right brain. I'm a central brain. I can see both sides. I can see both left and right. With the right person, I can be left. With the left person, I can be right. But I usually operate centrally. I usually think both ways. And I just consider both ways, I guess. So I was just considering because, in the current climate that we're in, people they have this thing, and I don't want to get all wrapped up in a whole bunch of things because there's so many things going on right now in life. But one of the thoughts that I was thinking about even earlier, because I heard somebody say, oh, because she was a good woman. And I was thinking, why do people say that? Why do people say, oh, that's a good man, or that's a bad man, or that's a good woman, or that's a bad woman? Because in all honesty, by whose standard? Because even a bad person is good to somebody. So somebody would think that they were a good person. And even a good person is bad to somebody because somebody thinks that they're a bad person. That's life. So, in my mind, every time I hear that, I think about the words, I don't know, did I say right that I was right? Yeah, I did say that right. But I write biblical-based stories, or I write stories based on the characteristics or attributes of the Bible. And every time I hear somebody say, oh, that's a good person, that's a good cop, that's a good, that was a good man, or that was a bad man, I think about what did Jesus say? What did Yeshua say? He said, why callest thou me good? There's none good. You know why? Because people go after their own way. Yeah, a person may be good to you. Like, okay, so I was going for my jog earlier, and that's when I was considering, and I seen a police officer, and I was kind of like running in the street a little bit, because some of the roads that I run on don't have an actual road. So I was running the street a little bit, and I looked back to make sure it wasn't another car coming, just because I don't want you too close to me, because I don't trust people too much. Clearly you can, but he got over to the other side a lot, but I looked at him because I see him and I waved to him, like, hi, because I do understand in the current climate, they are a little bit more up in arms than what they would typically be. And I thought, well, of course I'm going to speak and be kind to the police officers, regardless of what's going on. I'm going to be kind and speak to police officers when it's in my power to do so, or when they come into my presence, because their job is to protect and serve me. However, I know that some police officers don't do their job. Some police officers don't protect and serve the people they're supposed to be protecting and serving. In fact, they probably abuse their authority and harm some people. However, that's not their job. So, still in all, they say, oh, I know him, he's a good man. And I'm saying he's a good man to you. And this is what happened to me years ago. I was in a position where a person was over me, a bit of an authority over me, but that person too had an authority. But I say to myself that I'm not a big complainer, but I guess I complain about certain things because I give the kids a hard time from time to time. But I'm not a big complainer about certain things. So the person that was over me was, in my mind and in my eyes, abusing their authority, overstepping their boundaries, and just not being more than a micromanager, being a controlling person. And like, first of all, I do what I want to do, period. Like, if I want to be obedient, so I'm going to be obedient. That's it. If I don't want to be obedient, I don't want to be obedient. That's it. There's nothing you can do about it. What are you going to do? Like, no, you're not. You can't do anything about it. What, you going to beat me up? Try it. Let me get my gold name plate that says I wish you would. Okay? Try it, please. I've been waiting. Southside, Chicago. Tough. That's me. So anyway, but I purpose within myself to do my best, to be honorable, and to respect authority. It doesn't, sometimes it's harder than others. But anyway, that person was, doing the most for the most part. But I wasn't going to complain. But I'm assuming that maybe they were saying something to the people, the authority over them, about maybe my character, or trying to, how I was watching Enemy of the State, is it with Will Smith the other day, and he was talking about how you got to destroy the credibility before they can come out and say anything about you. If you destroy that credibility, then they're not able to come out and say whatever they're saying, whether it's truth or not. Nobody's going to hear it because they see that person as a liar. So I'm assuming that was going on. I never asked because I didn't care enough to ask. My position on defending myself is that I don't. If you feel that way about me, then it's got to be some part of truth. Otherwise, how did you get that? Will you change me? No, you won't. Will I change? I can if I decide I want to. But I don't have to defend myself. Like, no. Because I'm probably, the more I learned in life, the more you try to defend yourself to look one way or the other, you tend to look the way that people thought you was. So I don't bother. Like, whatever. So I never asked, but the authority over them was talking to me, and she was just trying to figure out what's the problem, what's the issue. And she said, well, I see her as this. And I said, well, what she is to you doesn't mean that's what she is to me. Because what I see, or how she treats me, will probably never the way she treats you, because you're an authority over her, as opposed to her being authority over you. That's the unjust steward. Someone who's in a position of authority and don't do what's right in their position. And it's like, what can you do? It's a lesson to be learned from that, and I know that too. But I was saying all of this because I was just saying, consider, why do you call somebody good? Why do you defend a person? Because of what? Because of your experience of that person. But your experience of that person does not mean that that's everybody's experience of that person. One of the forefronts, or the challenges that I faced in this season was people thoughts of me. And like I said before, I don't really get too far into how people think of me, because you can't live for everybody else. It's exhausting trying to figure out what's acceptable to the next person. And then, a person mentoring says, well, you shouldn't do this for this reason. Or you shouldn't do this for this reason. And I did say, if this was a football game, I would be offensive. I'm aggressive. I score points. I do what's right. I don't defend myself. Like, I take a hit, but that's just it. And on top of that, I feel like if I'm only showing this one part here and there, then it's almost like I'm living a double life. I don't live a double life. I am who I am everywhere I am. I feel like people don't want to know. That's why they don't ask. Because if they ask, then they would know. How can I decide what you assume about me? That's your assumption. Like, in time, I will assume if you continue on with the relationship with me, then you will get a clearer understanding of who I am and how I am. However, if you don't care to continue on your relationship with me, then you're going to think what you want to think and let that be it. And that's just it. So, that's the gist of what I want to share. I have so much to share, but I don't want to have a 23-minute vlog, because I think that regardless of all these things that may be in my mind or in my heart or in my thoughts that I may want to share, the main thing is this. I would say, consider why. Why do you think that way about a person? Is it because of what they said, what they do, what somebody else have told, what you've seen in a moment, what you experienced over a period of time? Like, say for instance, because it is a big thing with the police officers, say for instance, you don't like cops. You may very well not like cops because of multiple experiences with cops that have caused you to feel as though they're not the best people. Does that mean that all cops are not the best people? Not at all. However, that'll mean that over a period of time, that's what you experienced, and that's what you have to go by. It could be my experience with cops. I have both. I have experiences that weren't so good and experiences that were great. Overall, I have no issues with them. Like I said, I feel like, their job is to serve and protect. So why would I have a problem with somebody who's supposed to be serving and protecting me? I do, however, have a problem with somebody who do not do what they're supposed to be doing, and in facto, doing something opposite of what they're supposed to be doing. Then we have a problem. But when it comes down to the fundamental position of who they represent, I mean, I love it. Thank you. Thank you for looking out for me. Thank you for trying to protect me. You understand what I'm saying? But I was just saying, I was just thinking about considering. I don't think people consider. I think people just go with it, and that's it. Just have a thought, and pew. They don't say, why did I get this thought? How did this thought come into my mind? Or even play, what they say, devil's advocate. And I feel like the devil's advocate in many people's mind is really it's the duality of the thoughts. It's always an opposition. It's always a different position on one hand or the other for everything. So, all right. I will leave it at that for this one. I will be coming back a little bit sooner than later, maybe even today, to talk about a different subject. But that's been my vlog. Thank you for listening while I talk and